Welcome to episode 4 of the mysteriously Unnamed SPA podcast. It might have been brought here by aliens. It's a mystery. I'm here with my lovely wife Alice.
I think the only mystery is that we can't think of a name for it.
It took me... I spent 2 years trying to think of a better name than Steve Parker Audiobooks. And it didn't happen. So I don't think it's very mysterious that I couldn't think of a name for this either.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, coming up, a mostly comment and question-based edition of the podcast, we've had so much feedback from the audience, which is just awesome, that this episode is pretty much filled with that. Also, we are trying to keep these podcasts short and sweet.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, we're not good at it, but we're trying. Our intention was like 15 to 30-minute episodes, right, when we started? Mm-hmm. But I think about 50 minutes is our shortest so far.
Yeesh.
Because I blather on, like I'm doing right now. Yeah.
It's a skill you have.
Yeah.
You have different talents, different abilities.
That's right. I do not have the talent of being brief. So let's start with some audience feedback. Audience comments and feedback.
Audience comments and feedback?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Legendary patron and frequent writing competition contributor Carly Conrad. This is a comment from episode 3.
Yes.
I think Steve's lady voices are excellent. Yeah. I never feel it's a dude putting on a lady. I feel completely like I'm hearing the female character.
Oh, thank you so much, Kylie. That's very good. No, that's my worst lady voice. But thank you. I do appreciate that. I like that. Yeah. I do try hard. Yeah. I am a try hard.
You're not a try. You do try hard, though.
I do try hard. Yeah. I tell you, it was one reader. I can't remember his name because it was so many years ago. Who was doing the series of short stories by Isaac Asimov, I, Robot, and one of the characters in one of those stories was a little girl, and all he did was remove the bass from his voice, and I thought, oh, that's brilliant. So that's pretty much what I try and do. I just remove the bass from my voice, which is pretty hard because my voice is all bass, but still, you know, it kind of works. So that's as much as I do. But thank you, Kylie. I appreciate that. Yeah,
you don't have to do too much to sort of differentiate between characters. And I feel like, as an audiobook listener, I think, you know, once you're into the book, you don't really notice that, you know, it's a man's voice speaking a lady's or a lady speaking a man's voice. I've had occasions when it's like sort of a first person narrative.
Right.
And it's the opposite gender. Sometimes that's taken a little bit to sort of get into, but if it's, you know, just a character and their lines, it's always, you know, I think, you know, they've changed a little softening of the voice or perhaps a little hardening of the voice if it's gone the opposite way. Yeah. That's all it needs.
Yeah. Excellent. Good. I certainly hope people are that lenient when The Great Gatsby starts playing.
Well, you've got some female actors coming in to play your lead.
Yeah, I was referring more to my American accent, which is wobbly at best, I think. Okay. Some of them are quite good. I can do that southern drawl really well, but the sort of harder East Coast American accents are really quite tricky. And I think sometimes maybe I had to warm up a bit before it really came good. But we'll see.
Hopefully that will provide plenty of future content for our podcasts. And people can make comment on your American accent.
Dear Steve, you suck. Never do that again. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Another comment, this time from Anna Webb. This is from episode 2. I believe Anna has commented before.
Yes. And we've got more from her later on in this episode too. Okay. She wrote an enormous comment, some of which, had to become a later section because I think we're going to dribble on about it for 50, 60, 70 hours.
I believe Anna is my new reading bestie. Based on
that's right. She backed you up for reading and listening to multiple things.
Yes. Cool. So her comment is, second episode is available. Another fun episode that got me laughing. Love the Istanbul bit.
Istanbul?
Constantinople. I read the first 3 Hitchhikers books this year. R.F. Kuang has been one of my favourite recent authors too. Also going through Discworld, now on book 22, The Last Continent.
So much to go through already, right? First, Hitchhikers, awesome. Awesome. Read the first 3 books. Arguably the best books. He gets a little bit dreamscapey in the last 2, but yeah, definitely brilliant books. R.F. Kuang?
I believe that's the correct pronunciation. I
Can be
apologise if I have been bumbling that one, but I believe.
It's difficult with multicultural names, as we learned in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Chinese, even more difficult, of course. Yeah. Yeah, love those books. Very cool. Very cool. As a sort of budding linguist, I love how she plays with language in
Babel?
Babel, yes, that's right. And finally, going through Discworld now on book 22, The Last Continent, guess which book I'm on right now?
What book are you on right now, Steve?
I'm on book 22, The Last Continent, which is, of course, Terry Pratchett's book on Australia. XXXX, as he calls it, because we have, or had, really, I don't know if it's still famous, but a famous beer, 4X beer in Australia. It's very funny. Even when you are Australian, sometimes when foreigners try and write about Australia and stuff like do the Australian accent in particular, it's like, oh, please don't do that. That just hurts. It hurts my soul. But no, Terry did pretty well. And he showed absolutely that he came to Adelaide, our home city, because in the book he talks about the pie floater, which as far as I know is just an Adelaide thing.
I think so.
Yeah. I don't think other cities do that. With good reason.
Well,
would you like to describe the pie floater to the people at home, Alice?
No, I'd rather vomit in a bowl and pretend it's a pie floater because it's not much different.
No, it's mushy pea soup.
Yeah, gross.
Right? Which, yeah, not a great start, to be fair. And then you get a meat pie, which I know our American audience is going to love because all their pies are fruit pies, right? And vegetable pies. They don't do meat pies.
Yeah, I think they find meat pies a bit weird.
As they should, kind of. Miscellaneous animal chunks in gravy in a pie. But I love them. I love a pie. I do. In fact, when I first learned that Americans only do like fruit and vegetable pies, they don't do meat pies, I was like, what? Is that even a pie? What are you talking about? But yeah, so mushy pea soup with a meat pie turned upside down for some strange reason, submerged in the pea soup with bright red tomato sauce, or ketchup. If you're American, I think they call it ketchup or ketchup. Or I don't know what the difference is. I know it's probably just 2 different pronunciations of the same thing. But yeah, smeared all over the top. So you've got the bright green soup and the sort of brown weird pie and the bright red sauce. And when you're drunk at 2 o'clock in the morning outside the railway station in Adelaide, that's what you eat. I never had one myself, I have to be honest.
It's disgusting. Don't eat it.
I mean, it looks gross. I never tried it. Yeah. But yeah, an Adelaide thing. And so Terry was clearly in Adelaide at some point.
Next comment is from Jack of Hearts on Brave New World. You made this? I thought you just uploaded it. Holy cow.
I get this a lot. I think because of the nature of YouTube, people quite often just, gather stuff from all over the place and upload it and go, look, this is my channel. I've stolen a bunch of stuff, basically, or whatever. But sometimes that's a really good resource. Like you can't necessarily find that old TV show from the 70s where I want, this thing that I vaguely remember. Sometimes YouTube's got that thing and you're like, wow, that's awesome. What a great resource. But it does also mean a lot of people think my channel is just made up of stolen audiobooks, despite the fact that they're all read by me. Or most of them are.
Well, I guess most of them don't know that you are Steve Parker.
No, and they don't often check the channel, which is weird to me. Like if I see a clip or something that I like, I'll go and check the channel. I'll see if they've got more of that. I want to see their playlists. I want to, all that sort of stuff. But apparently most people don't do that, which is weird. But there you go. That's fine.
Yeah. People consume media in different ways.
Yeah, exactly. Consume it as you want to. But yeah, no, we're all this stuff on my channel. That's me. Apart from Around the World, which is the first thing that's not me. Actually, it's the second thing that's not me, because we did upload a short story that was read by Jet a few years ago.
It's still produced by you, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Still under the Steve Parker Audiobooks banner.
Absolutely.
Publishing.
The mighty megacorp that is me.
That's it. Forget Audible.
Forget Audible. It's all SPA. That's right. Yeah. We've got, what, like 10 books? 12? Something? I don't know. Not many.
I don't know, actually, how many you've got in total.
Yeah, it's not many.
Okay. Next comment from Jackson Davis on Animal Farm. I am in love with you.
Yeah. Yeah. I put this comment on the list just to get your reaction to that as my wife.
Oh, that's fine. I'm not the jealous type.
You got no problem?
I'm not the jealous type, no.
Oh, okay. All right. There you go, Jackson. My wife is willing to share. There you go. And I have enough love for the whole world.
There you go.
I am a loving man.
No need to create conflict where there's no conflict.
No, that's right.
Let's all live in peace and harmony.
Yeah, man.
Next comment.
Yeah.
From Gino Pang.
Mm-hmm.
Will you ever do a Christmas carol? I think you could do it wonderfully.
I agree, so much that I thought we'd already done it, but we haven't.
No, I've told you to do it.
Yeah, we did. Tim read
A Night Before Christmas.
A Night Before Christmas, that's right. Which is not actually called that, but I can't remember what it's called.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should do it.
Yeah, we will.
I've told you that before.
We'll do that.
You should actually listen to your wife sometimes.
But she shares me with other people. Why would I listen?
Well,
maybe
it's because you don't listen to me that I feel I need to bring some other people on board to nag you a bit more as well.
Oh, I thought it was sharing the love duties, but it's sharing the nag duties. That's what you're interested in.
That's right. I get sick of nagging him all the time. I need some help here.
I mean, that makes sense. Maybe the listeners will be kind enough to write in and nag. I do not want to open that door. Do not write in and nag at me. Okay.
Cool. Next, Shane Mark.
Yeah, now
That's
I
a
should
familiar
point
name.
out, before we start this one, this is an old mate from primary school.
On podcast episode 2, his comment was, I can confirm that you read the Hitchhiker series constantly in the 80s.
Yeah.
You got me into it back in 88, and now my son is listening to it. Love it. You have always been an Isaac Asimov and Piers Anthony fan.
Very true. Very true. Although I did try and reread some Piers Anthony recently, and it has not aged well.
Eesh.
But Asimov, still great. Hitchhikers, still great. There you go. I guess that's the difference between a truly great writer and someone who's just obsessed with young women with massive boobs. Like Piers Anthony.
Yeah,
I didn't even notice. I was too young to notice, but it's all of his female characters are like young hot woman with massive boobs talking to other young hot women with massive boobs. Okay, Piers. I mean, he's got a type, I'll say. Yeah, so yeah, not aged well.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, we have on to our next section. Favourite writers.
Yes.
Yeah, great.
Cool. Favourite writer this week that I'm going to talk about, Chuck Wendig. I have read 2 of his novels, The Book of Accidents and Wanderers. Both I really enjoyed. I classify as kind of horror-ish.
Okay.
I did a bit of a quick Google research before writing about him in the podcast here, and I was actually really surprised to see the extent of his work, because I've only read 2 books, so I thought, okay, let's see what else he's done. I knew he had some other novels that I hadn't read yet, so they're all on my to-read list. But he's also written a trilogy for the Star Wars franchise.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And some comic books. So there's quite a lot of stuff out there that I can get into if I want to.
Yeah, cool.
I'm not a huge Star Wars books fan, so I'll read those, but love a good graphic novel from time to time. So definitely I'll check those out. But he does have a new novel coming out very soon, which I will be adding to my wish list.
Cool.
Checking out Libby if it's going to be on there. Joining the probably a long wait. But that's okay.
There can be a long wait for the popular books on Libby.
There can.
Yes.
But yeah, that's a good thing, I think. You know, if there's a lot of people waiting for it, they'll get more copies in.
Absolutely.
Love Libby.
But creators can make more money.
Yes.
Yes.
But his new book is called The Staircase in the Woods. From what I've read, it sounds another sort of horror-y
Well,
type.
that makes no sense.
Why
Why
would-
would you build a staircase in the woods?
Who knows?
Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Madness. Madness.
But yeah, I really enjoyed reading his book Wanderers in particular. Would absolutely recommend that to anyone. It's a book about a global pandemic.
Shocking.
It also delves into a lot of politics, a bit of religion and science, modern technology, AI. Just sort of looking at how people as individuals deal with their world falling apart around them. And, you know, things not going very well.
Right.
It's
Don't know why I laughed at that. Just recent events have,
Yeah.
sort of brought a lot of this to light. So,
got a lot of similarities to Stephen King's The Stand.
Right. I vaguely know The Stand. But I
Also a
never
global
really read it.
pandemic.
Yeah, right.
But what is kind of blew my mind about it was that it was published in 2019,
Oh.
pre-COVID-19.
Ah.
So the way, like it, now being post-pandemic, we are, of course, it's really interesting to look at what he wrote pre-actual pandemic happening.
What parallels
And then what
there
actually
were?
happened.
Oh, interesting.
It's really neat. I would recommend reading it to anyone who enjoys that kind of thing.
Were there a lot of like real world parallels to what happened? Or?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Also, there was like some AI stuff in there, which is sort of now becoming sort of more topical as well. It wasn't so much in the pandemic times, but now it's becoming a lot more topical. So it's kind of very parallel to that as well.
Interesting.
Which,
I think I'll have to read that one.
you should.
The only trouble I have with reading new books is when I'm going through them, and of course I read them as characters and narration and all that sort of stuff, and I think, wow, I'd really love to make this book. I just have to wait another 95 years. Maybe if I have them assassinated now, I can speed up that timeline a bit.
Please don't assassinate one of my favourite authors. I would like to
No, I
read
won't.
more. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I was I have an Isaac Asimov thing coming up, although it might take several episodes because it's going to take a while to write about that man. He was an amazing dude.
As were his sideburns.
Yeah, absolutely. But he died like relatively recently, so I've been counting down. When can I start making Asimov books? And it's like, well, I'm going to have to start eating clean and living healthy if I want to do any of that, because
Yeah, he died like 70s?
no,
later?
like 90s.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Yeah,
that wrong.
in very unfortunate circumstances too. A little bit of a teaser for a future
Oh, okay, yeah.
episode. Yeah, no, it was very, 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 very sad. Yeah. Anyway, great. Thank you. So, Chuck Wendig,
Yes, please
The
check out.
Wanderers.
Chuck
Just
Wendig.
Wanderers.
Wanderers.
Not The Wanderers. When you said Wanderers, I naturally thought of The Warriors Come Out and Play. It's that old movie.
Yes.
Yeah,
you
but
made
it's
me
not
watch that.
The Wanderers. It's just Wanderers by Chuck Wendig.
Yep.
Cool. Excellent. I'll check that one out. All right. So next section coming up. What's coming up? At the time of release of this podcast, YouTube members and patrons will, of course, have just received chapters 21 and 22 of Around the World in 80 Days. What do you think so far? We're over the halfway mark now, and I really do think that Tim did a great job. And I'm trying to encourage him to start his own audiobook channel. So write in with your comments and compliments and tell him how handsome and wonderful he is. And hopefully he'll make more stuff. That would be good. Although it would mean we probably lose him as a reader on our books because he'll be too busy making his own stuff. But nonetheless, it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make because he's a talented dude.
Absolutely. I'm enjoying his Around the World in 80 Days, particularly enjoy his Passepartout character.
Passepartout, yeah. And you're actually listening along episode by episode as well. You haven't listened to the full book, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, sometimes I wish I had the chance to just sit back and listen to Tim, but of course I was producing everything, so I had work to do.
Yeah.
So the free-to-air audience, of course, will have just heard the final chapter of Conan, The People of the Black Circle. Next week, the full amalgamated version will go up, and then they too can start traveling around the world with Tim. Exciting.
And if you'd rather be up to date with the podcast rather than a month behind, you can sign up for free on Patreon, patreon.com/Steve Parker. It's no fee. It's free as
absolutely free to get this sort of stuff. Totally free.
That's right. Basically, all you're doing is signing up to Patreon.
Yeah.
You're not committing any money, but you get stuff a little bit earlier.
A month.
A whole month earlier.
Yeah.
That.
I think they even send you emails, right, and say this thing is out for you.
I assume they do that for free members. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but there is a Patreon app that will just give you notifications as well. So.
Oh, nice.
However you prefer it. But if you would like to support Steve Parker Audiobooks for even just $1 a month, you can stay up to date with the actual chapter releases week by week.
Yes.
You get 2 weeks to listen to your chapters. So if you're a bit busy, you've got time to catch up still.
$1 a month.
It's nothing. $1 a month.
You can afford $1 a month. You might not want to, but you can. You can do it. I believe in you.
$12 a year.
Yeah, $12 a year. You can't afford $12 a year? Buy me a cup of coffee. Right? Nowadays, that's about $12 probably?
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's not a lot of money, but it is a huge support and makes a big difference just to see people willing to make even that small commitment.
It really does.
Is a huge, huge difference to us.
I know I keep going on about it. You're probably sick of hearing it, but it's such a massive morale boost for me when I'm just sitting there trying to. I'll try not to derail it too much, but while goddamn AI channels are just coming out and spewing out shit every day, my fight is getting harder and harder. Every day it gets harder for me to do these things. So, having $12 support a year, really, it's a great morale boost. It really, really is.
Yeah, having that little bit of, even the free subscribers, just knowing that there are people out there who support actual people making actual content and not churning out mass-produced nonsense.
It makes me sick. Yeah, it really does. It's awful. It's awful. Anyway, actually, some of you might know Alice and I belong to a cult. No, it's not a cult. It's the writing website, Deadlines for Writers.
Yes,
and they put out monthly challenges. And this month it's like a 500-word, and the prompt was futile, and I, in my sadness, have written about the fight against AI for 500 words. So it wasn't
only 500 words.
There was a lot of trimming, a lot of editing as I went on and on and on. Yeah. Also, you've put down a note here, a reminder about the writing competition.
Yes.
Yes. Which is open to everybody, but of course the patrons and YouTube members have gotten advanced knowledge, so I hope you've been thinking about that already. It's at 2,500 words, handed in by the end of June, and the prompt is 50, because no reason.
Because no reason.
No reason at all.
Cool. And last thing I wanted to talk about is just see if anyone is interested in another podcast that we could possibly do.
Yeah, this one would be cool.
So I've mentioned previously that I was listening to a podcast called the Kingslingers podcast as a companion alongside reading the Dark Tower series. And I've really been enjoying reading the book and listening to the podcast side by side. So I thought maybe we could do something similar with Steve Parker Audiobooks books. We could do it with, I guess we could do it with any, really. We could go back and look at them.
Yeah, we could do it with old ones and stuff.
It would be kind of cool to do it with the new release novels as they come out. So basically, it would be like the chapter of a book gets released, and then a couple of days later, we put out our companion podcast, which kind of talks about what happened in the chapter of the novel. A bit of a deep dive into the characters, the story, what's going on.
Yeah.
But also, we could include like the technical side of it, the narration, the sound effects, how you recorded it, how you chose sound effects, what went into that.
Sure.
Side of things.
Yeah, that could be cool.
We could do that. I don't know if I could get organised in time for Gatsby. That starts very soon
There's 37 chapters of Around the World, and they just got 22?
That's another 5 weeks-ish.
Yeah.
6 weeks. I guess we could, if got my butt into gear, we could do that.
Well, a lot of this like smart academic stuff is Alice driven. So you'll have to get onto her.
Well,
she's brighter than
look,
I am.
I'm not going to say I'm going to be very good at analysing texts. It's more like, yeah, I thought that was a great chapter. That was really fun.
So very short podcast then.
Well, I don't
This
expect
one
it to
was
be
good.
long. I don't think it'll be long, like hour-long
dancing.
episodes. It's going to be probably little 20-minute things.
Yeah. Well, like these ones were supposed to be.
I think we're more likely to stick to that.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, I guess we could maybe start that for Gatsby if there was any interest. But yeah, have a think about it and let us know in the comments and such.
After Gatsby, the Invisible Man, of course, which would probably be easier, give us more time. But yeah, if people are really interested, we could do it for Gatsby.
Yeah, if people are like, hell yeah, I'd love that, we'll do it for Gatsby. But if there's just a little bit of okay, we'll see what you come up with. Yeah. Then we'll just wait till Invisible Man and do it from that. Yeah.
Also, I'm not sure how much like of me crying people want to listen to. I'm going, I'm sorry about my accent. I'm so sorry.
If it's really something people like, we could go back retrospectively as well.
Yeah, do some of the big ones.
Yeah.
1984, Brave New World, Animal Farm, Frankenstein, Alice in Wonderland, Treasure Island, The Island of Dr. Moreau. Call of Cthulhu. I'm trying to remember all the books I've done.
So you've done heaps.
Yeah.
You've done heaps.
Yeah, I've done a few.
Cool.
So on to our final section, which is back to Miss Anna Webb. This is the second part of her comment.
Okay.
Which is probably going to take quite a bit of time. This is quite a deep dive, actually.
Settle in, folks.
She says...
Which Discworld series is your favourite? I really enjoyed The City Watch, followed by The Witches. Are there any quotes that stand out to you? If you were to narrate them, how would you attempt to do the voices for the non-human characters like trolls and golems?
Oh, gosh. Favourites. I tend to like the standalones. I mean, I like all the series as well. I like The Wizards, I like The Witches, I like The City Watch. I like all that stuff. But the books that probably stand out to me the most are the standalone ones, like Small Gods. I really, really enjoyed. Death, I also enjoy as a character quite a lot, when he's sort of exploring the nature of humanity and all that sort of stuff. I mean, it's a little bit sort of Pinocchio or, Data from Star Trek and that sort of thing, as like the non-human, tries to study the nature of humanity. But I really enjoy them. What about you? Do you have favourites?
I like The Wizards.
The early ones where they're all wacky, over the top, super fantasy, or the later ones where they're like the scholars in the university just eating a lot?
I like the early
arguing.
ones.
The early ones.
The early ones. Yeah. I think maybe because that's the first Discworld books that I read was some of those early Wizard ones. So they're sort of very close to my heart.
Up until like sorcery, right? That was the sort of turning point for the Wizards. I think before that they were quite wacky. Then the sorcerer came up and showed us this is why wizards aren't allowed to be powerful anymore, because they just rewrite the world with their massive egos. And then after that, I think they were a lot more tame and kind of shamefaced and trying to pretend that didn't happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't read them in order. I was, whatever book was available at the library at the time was the one I grabbed. So well,
that's sort of why I'm going through all the books in order now, because I don't think I really read them in order either. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll do that journey someday.
Yeah.
I haven't read them from number 1 to the end, but
Yeah.
I will do that eventually.
There's a lot of them, 40-something, I think.
50 maybe even.
50
I can't
maybe?
quite remember.
Yeah,
But there's a lot, yeah.
Yeah. As for the voices, oh gosh. I mean, like I said, when I'm reading books, I do hear the narration in my head. I can't help it. I've been doing these audiobooks for so long. That's just how I read now.
So the trolls all kind of sound like this, Mr. Vimes. Detritus. I'm the smartest troll that was ever called dumb.
You know, the trolls will probably sound a bit like that. The golems, how to do the voice, I don't know. I think it would be very flat and monotone, and possibly I would try and mix it with, I'm going to get real technical here. I would try and mix it with the sound of like stone rubbing on stone, you know, like that, or concrete stone, something like that, you know, that really kind of sound. And I'd try and mix that into the background of all the words. It would be incredibly difficult and take me a long time, so I would probably give up not knowing how to do it properly. But yeah, probably just like a very flat robotic monotone, I think. Cool. Yeah, a lot of those non-human characters would be quite difficult.
How would you do Death of Rats?
Death of Rats. Squeak!
Squeak, 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 squeak.
Yeah.
Squeak.
Yeah, I don't know. Man, I love Terry Pratchett. Sometimes he's just silly, but yeah, I really like it when he picks like a philosophical point and he explores that quite deeply through a story. You know, so yeah, they're the ones I like. That's why Small Gods jumped to mind. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I love Terry. We miss you, Terry. Yeah. All right. So that's it for this episode. 35 minutes. This might be our shortest one yet. Great.
We're getting better.
We're getting better. We are really trying to trim down here, folks. Thank you, everyone, for your support. As mentioned, it really, really means a lot to me, particularly in this modern age. We'll be back with more next month. Feel free to send in your favorites, your comments, your complaints and questions, suggestions and compliments for Tim, and we'll endeavour to get to them all. All the best from me and mine to you and yours. We'll see you next time. Bye, bye, bye.
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 Squeak.